Yes. He's
Oh
waiting.
my god, if this shit works.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
There's Brant. Mic test.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
Why did it do it again?
There's Brant. Mic test.
Ooh, you sound like
You're still.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
We'll
Whatever.
figure it
We're
out.
up there. Yep, we're up there. We'll figure
About
it
to
out.
say, when do you want to try and knock that out, Richard?
like a Saturday or something like that.
Yes.
Work on it on a Saturday.
Yep. Because something is not right.
Yeah, something's screwy. Hey, I mean, when we got audio off you when you were using the new Skype, you were fine.
Yeah. It's something with this one. We're in there. That's all that matters.
Sorry.
Nope. Like I said, there's 5 people that listen to this live. There's 35 to 55 when we post the podcast. That's the bread and butter.
Yeah.
Are you hardwire or are you Wi-Fi?
Hardwire. Always hardwire.
Okay. And you're not getting any noise?
Mm-mm. Like, until Renee said something, I had no idea there was an issue, because I'm watching you guys fine.
Yeah,
I don't see any hiccups.
he just told me, I think he checked with Sylvester, and I think they said he was having issues like that, but it was like internet speeds. It's a bad upload, he said.
Should be for
I was
me.
going to say it really
I don't
shouldn't,
I'm
because
just
from
saying
Skype to
what was
Skype,
told to me.
that was the only difference.
Yeah.
He was getting good audio through one Skype feed, and this Skype feed has just got dirty audio.
Again, this was for like Twitch integration and to increase our brand, and because we were already recording, we were already looking at each other anyways, we might as well try to figure this part out. So this is just a hiccup, and I'm sure there's other people that run into the same thing. I hope
Yeah.
we find it. I'm not gonna mess with that DVD ripping right now. That might have been part of it. Oh god, it's almost 9 o'clock. Let me pull up these news
Blame it on
stories.
handbrake.
Yeah, handbrake's the at fault here. We gotta blow through this shit, Dylan.
Go. Blow.
Go blow.
Blow. That's a low blow.
Holy shit. Where's my thing? Webcam. Logic capture. What the fuck is logic capture? Maybe that's janking with me. Nothing. Back to normal. Let me pull up all these articles. Should have been doing that. They should be pretty straightforward, though, you know.
Yeah.
Good job with the news, Brant.
You're welcome.
That'll be the fun one. Man, how about Norm Macdonald? I'm like gutted by that one. That one bugs me.
Yeah. I don't think anybody was expecting that.
Nobody knew.
Yeah, I was watching some of his old stand-up, like the one he did with 2015. Yeah, I don't know if I can describe it, but he's still got it, man. He's still got
We
it.
did. I saw some recent clips that were really good, but the moth joke kills me. The one from Conan. The moth joke fucking kills me. He drags that shit on forever. Alright, let's go live with this shit. We're never gonna get there. Where's Skype? Fucking Skype. Skype's the root of the issue. Remember, I even said, I was like, this is a new Skype. Something's up.
Yeah.
And that's when it fucked me. I wonder if I can back down to an old Skype and just keep it at that for the podcast. I don't need any new Skype features. I just need this shit.
Possible.
That's the kicker. The previous version is still available in the layout picker. Maybe that's the problem.
Pick that layout.
But layout makes it sound to me like it's just a aesthetic thing, right?
Yeah.
Appearance.
I don't know. You still need me to watch chat?
I mean, they're gonna hear me sounding janky, so it's just gonna be Renee bitching about me sounding janky, which is not bitching. We appreciate the feedback, but I think that's gonna be it in the chat because we're live now.
Because I prefer not to be chat master.
I like when you're chat master. General. It's like I need an old version of Skype or something. Yeah, I don't see anything in the settings real quick. It is what it is. We'll figure it out. I'm sure other people have had to. Alright, are we ready?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Bigger.
Bigger. We could play that.
Hell no. I got a copy coming to me and I don't even want it. It's free.
The reason I asked you about your Wario is because I got 2 of them somehow.
The only thing Renee said we can take a look at in the future is they use Zoom now, so
You gotta pay for it though.
he said we can borrow his Zoom account if we want to test it out.
Zoom.
¿Cuántos pesos necesitas?
How much you pay for it, Renee? Just type it in the chat.
For this show. Because I've tried to keep us on the free side, because this has worked since we were forced to do this.
I mean, at this point, I mean, technically you have a Teams license you can use. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have to own a Teams license. I can join the call. So, you're host anyways. It's up to you if you want to use your license. I know I can't do it for my job, so because they put in like on writing that I can't. So.
We're at a crossroads. I'm not ready to take this on right now.
Or just look at me like, I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll take a Saturday. Obviously,
Yeah.
we've talked about it next week.
Oh, I have it.
Renee said you use
Sorry,
his,
Brent, go ahead.
It's $150 a year, he believes.
Yeah.
So you have to put that on our domain hosting already. And then I have a proposition for putting us on a platform too, which we need to discuss.
So, but I mean, even then, if I were to use Teams and buy that, I think it's $5 a month per license for Teams. So.
But that would just be for one person, right? And then you can add whoever.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what, $15 a month for all 3 of us. Still about the same price. Renee said we can use his. He doesn't care. It's free for us. He's not using it.
It just, man, that shit adds up fast when you have no income and you're supplementing all that. All we paid for so far is hosting, and the design of our logo cost us $5 exactly. And I pitched in and made the $5 happen. So we could rebrand for more than that. We could host for more than that. Whatever you guys want to decide to do.
I guess this is probably, we need to have this conversation off stream. And
Right.
I don't think
Now that we're
anybody.
2.5 minutes into recording.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to hear us go through our growing pains.
Inside baseball.
Logistics. Yeah.
It is definitely logistics.
Trade secrets we're giving out there of our Shambleton.
That was no secret, sir. That was public. That was public domain.
Hey man, I just know you should feel pretty good because every time I watch a VTuber, there's always like, oh, thanks OBS. It's not what I wanted. Why is it not showing up? Thanks OBS.
That's where we are
Yeah.
now. I got us back to this though. I'm happy with this, even though I sound like shit.
Sound like you're under static. You're like the bad version of the Matrix.
But y'all don't hear me doing that now, right?
No, you sound fine. It's just only on the when it's streaming
It's
out.
on the YouTube,
It has to be
then,
OBS.
yeah,
It's whenever it's streaming out through OBS is whatever it's encoding it. It's like it's
Yeah.
putting 2 overlay tracks on top of yourself for whatever reason.
Which was what it was doing when you both were NDI sources added, but we killed one of those, so that fixed that, we thought. Maybe that's what it is.
I wonder if you just
Brand.
mute
Access
everybody.
our desktop.
Yeah.
Okay, desktop audio is not muted.
Discord. We could also use Discord.
There's me. I'm going crazy on that. It's still, I see it in OBS. I see my thing going crazy.
We could also, like Brand said, we can also use Discord. I know the VTubers do that as well for audio, and then put that as a source in OBS.
They also do video calls on Discord now. They have like group video calls.
We could all be playing real Mist right now.
No, he dropped. Is this going to be one of those nights? Oh, there you go. What is love?
Yeah.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.
It's what I do. It's how I live. That's what I'm talking about.
Here I am. I'm back. But it's janky audio. I know it is.
Yeah, you're back.
Mic test, mic test, mic test. Test.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you on Skype. Yes.
You trying to go through the...
Yeah, because I just see, like I sent y'all that clip last week of me on the audio mixer. I'm just going crazy, and I don't know what the difference is here. I don't know what's changed. Lock volume? Nope, that didn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm completely. Whatever happened, I'm completely frozen on the video feeds. It doesn't matter for me. That's cool.
You've given up?
I mean, well, I don't know. I'm moving now. I'm super laggy for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Should we restart everything? Come back? I mean,
we're already late as it is, so why not?
It's 9 o'clock.
It's almost we're almost back to our old NOFODcast ways.
Oh no.
It's worse than that.
Well, we didn't start till what 10:30 p.m. or something like that. What was
you
the
were
thing?
You had to be here, and then when we were done, you had to leave. It's up to y'all. I got a hair in my hat.
Yeah, I'm dropping off. At this point, I don't know. You call it.
Richard's getting kind of laggy too, a little
I've
bit.
been recording for 7 minutes.
You think the recording sounds fine? We can pull through it. I don't know.
The
Or we can just
recording is
not.
always fine. When I post this episode, it doesn't sound like anything's wrong.
Or we can just not stream at all if we're having issues. So
Don't stream.
yeah, I mean, Renee will miss out, but the walls are thin. He can hear me through the wall.
So Twitch doesn't seem to care what the quality is. I like to at least have it going, you know, just to count us for our weekly 2 hour, hour and a half, whatever. We need to get it down to an hour at this point. All right, why don't we close out of everything and reconvene in 5 minutes or so?
All right.
Sound good?
Let's go.
Bless you, Cesar.
Yep. I'm out.
Cesar, you're fine now, by the way. Nothing's
Sneeze
wrong.
fixed everything. Yeah.
Nothing's wrong. Your sneeze cleared it out.
Yep. Well done.
I don't know. I think we're good.
If you think we're good, let's go.
We're just 8 minutes into this recording. Just somebody please remind me it's 8.5 minutes and there's plenty of lead in, and I'll delete all that shit and then we're good.
I'm putting in the document right now in the show notes.
Okay,
8.5
that'll help.
You stamp 8:38.
8:30ish. And if I get enough silence, I'll see it in the waveform. Need another drink.
I'm doing in Japanese for Brent.
Please don't. I'll have to edit it.
It's English is in there.
Hachi
There.
Fun Sanju.
8 minutes 30 seconds. It's Foon. It's not fun. It's Foon.
Sir, that says fun.
All right.
Like pizza, fun time theater.
Give me a second. I'll fix it for you. I'll put in here. Hiragana. It's fine. It's what you wanted.
I'm watching.
Somebody singing a jazz rendition of September to me. I'm listening to that at the same time.
So I start making it 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
Absolutely, I will. Why is this not on there? Ah, it's hold on there. Let's see. Do. All right, wait for it. Chatamate. Ah.
We just need a lead in. I'm ready to go. It's just a lead in.
No, that's katakana. How did that get in there? Oh, hold on.
So close. 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 176 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and slightly technical deficient podcast. Tonight, we're coming to you an hour later, so there's been a lot of technical difficulties. Bear with us as we get through this episode. Tonight, we have new acquisitions from Sony and Sumo Group. Base Nintendo Switch price cut? ? What new features are unlocked in these firmware updates? Parentheses, PS5 and Switch. Good stuff in both of those. I would say the key features are audio. So tune in later to hear the audio changes in those firmware updates. Possible game titles shown in NVIDIA leak, and some of these have already come true. And we have your late September Game Pass titles. I'm, of course, your host with the not most and struggling with Skype and OBS, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster and all-around good guy, Brant McKee.
What's up, sir?
And Cesar Concepcion the second. How are you, sir?
Hello, how's it going?
Cesar, it always sounds like we climb up to Brant and then just fall down to you.
And we're all normal sizes now, and
Yep.
you know.
Oh
On the same
man,
plane of
everybody
existence.
missed a podcast on the rocks. That was the best one.
I mean, we could have went back and then put like in the background, put it on the Ritz, playing that in the background. Dun, 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 dun,
We
dun,
still
dun.
may end up on the rocks. That was, I mean, it worked. We just we didn't get the EDI sources working. So, long story short, Skype had an update, and we had some audio issues last week. Not according to the podcast. So if you listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Overcast, anywhere
Oh
you.
God, no, we're doing this again.
Yes,
We're
let's
listing
go.
all the
Go ahead,
places.
Cesar. You're next. What's next?
Facebook. Damn it.
No, that's actually you got us
Sound
banned
glad.
from there. As a matter of fact, Why
we
would you-
digressed. We went backwards.
Why would you bring that up? You single-handedly caused us the Facebook affiliation.
You don't even exist to them.
I'm
Yeah,
banned. I don't even know what I did. I'm not even a real human.
you were supposed to bring balance to the Facebook, and you cost us.
I went to the CAPTCHA. I led them to Sarah Connor, and that's why they banned me.
That's what it was. Please
God,
identify all the squares with Sarah Connor. Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play. There's a couple other ones that I forget. We're wherever our RSS feed blasts via SoundCloud. So thank you, SoundCloud.
I don't remember anymore because we haven't done it in so long.
Yeah, but I find us in random places that'll pick us up, and I'll do a random Google search, and I'll see this stream, and it's like, okay, that's where the RSS feed is at, and supposedly SoundCloud pulls all those sources for our data stuff. So it tells us where people are listening at, but I just don't see the specifics of where those locations are.
I mean, outside of what I get a notification from Amazon Music every so often. So
there we go, Amazon Music. That's one of them too.
Yeah,
we're there as well. We are everywhere. Our RSS feed can be captured from any source.
Just not clean from yours.
No, and that's what started the whole thing. Is Skype did an update, and we were trying to figure out what version of Skype I was running, whether it was the native Windows Store one or vice versa. So we tried to convert to the Windows Store one, which is going to be the default going forwards, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I think Skype's supposed to go away anyway, so I'm not...
Skype for Windows, our famous joke.
I think the end game for Skype's supposed to be like soon, unless they push it back because of everything that's happening. Yeah. So.
Brandon, the Infinity Gauntlet for the audio listeners.
Snapped out of existence.
That's it. But we don't know a way to capture those audio streams because we tried for an hour and it didn't quite work like we wanted it to. But we're here now. You're listening to this podcast and watching 2/3 of the stream. You could see me and hear me, but I'm crackly. But the other guy should be fine. All right, let's dive into this news, as it were. Sony Interactive Entertainment acquires Fire Sprite. This comes from Gamatsu. PlayStation Studio welcomes Liverpool-based developer to the family.
Oh.
Man, if only... first off, you'll never walk alone. Let's go Liverpool. Yeah. Come on, you Reds. And on the other side, if only Sony had a previous presence in Liverpool. It's strange that this is an untapped market. You could almost wipe out with the developer content that's in Liverpool.
No other studios ever existed in the history of Liverpool.
Oh, that still kills me. That era still eats me up. I'm a big Wipeout fan. I'm not good at Wipeout games, but I appreciate everything about Wipeout games. I love them. The aesthetic, the music.
At least we were getting Wipeout, and they're not even getting us fucking F-Zero, so.
That's part of my current appreciation is I watched that Digital Foundry Retro special on F-Zero. Everyone go watch that. I will send y'all to someone else's content in a heartbeat. Please go watch it, Digital Foundry on F-Zero. It is fantastic. Start to finish. And they even point out there's never been a bad F-Zero game. That is a perfect franchise. There's never been an F-Zero game, first off, that's less than 60 frames per second. Second off, it's not a solid title. There's not a bad one. The ones that people kind of frown on, the last two GBA ones, because the last F-Zero game was in 2004 GBA. It's been that long.
GP Legend or something like that. This is the animated one based off the TV show.
So there was that one, and then Japan got Climax, which we never got. And then a Japanese version of Climax is like $120. So there you go. Sure, there's your F-Zero recap. And we haven't got one here since, as Cesar was saying, GP Legend for Game Boy Advance.
I mean, I got my copy of Climax here, so if you want to rip it. So.
You have Climax as well?
Mm-hmm. I got the final Bitstream games for the GBA, the final GBA games released in Japan, so I got all that. Got that complete set of those, too. I'm looking at them right now.
Those are good ones to have.
Bit Generations.
Oh, that was a side stroll there. Back to the news. This comes from Gamatsu, Sao Romano, of course. One day Cesar will be able to write for Sao Romano. Sony Interactive Entertainment has acquired Liverpool-based developer Fire Sprite. The company announced Fire Sprite is a creative and ambitious studio that is exceptional at building incredible experiences that truly showcase the potential of our hardware. PlayStation Studios boss Herman Hulst said in a blog post, "The team's technical and creative capabilities will be paramount to growing our stellar catalog of exclusive games, and I think you'll be excited for what's to come." Fire Sprite has previously released titles including The Persistence for PlayStation VR, Air Force Special Ops Nightfall, and The Playroom VR, alongside Sony Interactive Entertainment Japan Studio, RIP. Right up there with Studio Liverpool, they're just dragging us through this remembrance of Sony greatness of old. So this is a pretty big get. You hear Fire Sprite, and even I had to look at the article like, who the hell is this? But when you see the pedigree and what they've worked on before, that is That's a no-brainer. That's people worth grabbing. This next acquisition is Sumo Group. Who wants to grab this one? They got Auroch Digital. Well, what did they make?
Let's see, RR Digital. It's a Bristol-based video game developer. This is all from Sal Romano and Gamatsu. Focus on original intellectual property creation. It looks like they created what Mars Horizon and Brewmaster. Games I've not played.
Beer Brewing Simulator Brewmaster. So I had to look at Brewmaster like, what the hell is that?
They seem to be more in like the indie vein, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is after what the Sumo themselves were acquired by, was it Tencent?
Tencent.
Yeah. So I guess they're beefing up, getting ready to release more IPs. So
What was Sumo's last game? Are they still working on the Little Big Planet stuff?
their last game was, I think they had a game for, what was it, Microsoft, and they had a game from Sony. I know the Sony one was Little Big Planet. I can't remember what the Microsoft one was.
Was it one of the racing games?
It vaguely seems familiar. They were working on something for Microsoft for whatever reason.
Sumo Digital.
Let's see.
Let's do a live search.
It might have been cracked.
Well, I mean, it's
stuck in there. So.
they have a credit right here for Sackboy, Crackdown 3.
They worked on Sackboy Big Adventure?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so.
They did Little Big Planet 3, and this is like Brant said, they went on to do Sackboy right afterwards. Team Sonic Racing.
Snake Pass.
Crackdown 3, Hood Outlaws and Legends. Did anybody try that? Did anybody try that Hood game?
Mm-mm.
I didn't either. I know I had some buzz early on. Oh, the first game was Virtua Tennis World Tour for PSP.
Ooh.
I love that game.
Yeah, I remember they did a lot of Sega games back in the day.
Yep. And Super Rub-a-Dub. Oh, that's your Sumo Digital acquisition.
News for the day.
Next up, Nintendo lowers Switch price across Europe ahead of OLED model, but maybe not US. Brant, would you like to expound upon that?
And also, feel free to add any Animal Crossing details you've neglected us for the last 6 to 8
You've
months.
been holding out, you bastard. This is the opening. We just wanted you to... We gave you the Nintendo story, so you fucking give us some Animal Crossing details.
So this was, I think, a rumor that came around last week that there was supposed to be a Switch price drop in that base model announced sometime this week. And as far as this goes, this is Tom Warren from The Verge reporting, saying that there is a confirmed price drop in Europe. The Nintendo Switch is now priced at $299.99 in Europe, down about 30 euros from the previous $329.99. And of course, this is the base model. It says Nintendo has adjusted the base model to $259.99, down 20
pounds. What would that
20, I
equate
think
to
that's
us?
the pounds.
Like 40?
Yeah.
Or 35 or something like that?
I know the conversion rate for pounds is a little different now.
Yeah, so it'd be like
value
$2.80
of
for
the
us,
dollar.
maybe?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it used to be at $279.99.
I don't know, 20 pounds. Yeah, that's like $10 for us. I don't
Almost-
think that's worth
It's
yeah,
$27.69 US dollars. So it'll be about almost $30 off. I imagine they'll round it up to $30.
Yeah.
So you think you think the new MSRP would be
$269.
$269?
Mm-hmm.
I can see that being a big banner and a price drop and all that kind of stuff. Because you start factoring in, like, the people that don't have the Switch. It's like, that's half off a new release game, maybe. That's the kind of things you start thinking of. Or an extra set of Joy-Cons, maybe to play Mario Party or something.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Nintendo, I guess the Verge reached out to Nintendo, and they said after carefully weighing up a variety of factors, including current exchange rates in Europe and the upcoming launch of the Nintendo Switch OLED model, we decided that now was the appropriate time to change the European trade price of the Nintendo Switch. So
You also got to note, if you look at the Eurogamer article, and they clarified this, I saw this on Twitter, they said officially Nintendo does not set hardware pricing in Europe. So
Really?
interesting.
it's forced upon them based off currency inflation and rates. So
Is that because there's so many? Because I've always wondered, like, you get a copy of, let's say you get a Super Famicom copy, Super Nintendo copy of Kirby Superstar. Is that going to be Spanish, English, French, German, Portuguese? You have all these PAL languages. So I could see the currencies getting kind of mixed up over there. Because PAL's a territory in a video format is not the same as like NTSC, like US and Canada are pretty much going to be English unless you get like one of those French offshoot type things, but they have way more to factor in as far as languages and currencies, like Cesar was pointing out.
yeah, I think a lot of their stuff is handled by the European Union over there. So from what the Eurogamer was saying, it said their hand was forced. That's why we're not going to see a price drop in the United States. It's not something they were planning to do.
And they don't need to. I don't know if it's in this article or not, but MPD sales from last month that just came out, Switch was at top again, so they just don't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it does kind of make sense. Even if they do, I would think that they'd want to kind of deplete the ones that they have in the market right now to make way for the OLED.
Yeah.
Because to me, I can see Nintendo phasing out the older model eventually to stay with the OLED, especially with the chip and semiconductor shortages that are in the market right now.
Right.
Why push two systems that are essentially the same, just one has a different screen?
Because those are, I hate to cut you off, Brent, but I'm on your train of thought. The older Switch models that you have, there's no more of the original ones, right? They're all the new battery style.
They're all that new battery.
Okay. So you have those that you produced and that are out there in the market. Those are still a good value compared to how you have to spend for the chip shortage, right? So you've bought those and produced those under cost of how those components are coming in the door now, right? So you're still good on the ones that are out there. So you just need those to, like Cesar and Brand are both saying, you need those to go through the supply chain. You're good to go because you're ahead on those. And then your newest one that's coming out using the latest and greatest stuff is going to have, I still don't know with the chip shortage stuff, like how does that work out? Is that where that $50 compensation is at? Is it the OLED screen?
No, I mean, because with the amount of OLEDs they were buying from, was it Samsung? They're probably getting a crazy deal because
like Brand said, they're probably buying OLEDs that were used in phones 2 generations ago.
Yeah.
That they're probably just sitting around. I mean,
it's so funny to me. We're going to get to this about the Bluetooth audio, but the Switch is adding features like the OLED and the Bluetooth audio that were in the Vita at launch that I bought from Target. A Target that's been closed for like 6 years now.
No, it's still there. It's got a farmer's market.
It is a farmer's market.
Nom de moon.
And I still remember walking out of that Target and someone ran past me and the sensors went off and they were stealing something and nobody could catch them. They just took off. Good memories. Or just memories. Is there any more on that story or that's it?
That's it.
The PlayStation 5 update. Here we go. The M.2 SSD support that we talked about in the beta not too long ago is officially added. So that is available now if you want to dive into I think we've documented the SSD upgrade path on here. It's a little bit more convoluted. So I kind of look at this, and this is every man's terms, I guess. It's almost like Apple versus Android, right? Microsoft gives you an officially licensed, this is how you do it, pop it in, and you're done. That's the Apple version. And then you have the Android version that Sony's kind of taking where it's like, hey, pick the one you want, but this is what you have to have, and this is what you have to add to it, and you might need a heatsink, and it's a little bit more wide open. But that feature is available now, the long-awaited M.2 SSD slot, which has been in our PS5s for almost a year at this point. You may now upgrade them. More importantly to me, I believe, and you guys can expound upon this if you see fit, is that they are adding the 3D audio type technology to built-in speakers. So if you are, like, if I do not use my Pulse 3D headset currently on my PS5, if I want to listen to the speakers out of my TV, it's just stereo, whatever my LG TV pushes out. But they're adding, and I haven't tried this yet. I hope one of you guys have. But they're adding
I
the
did.
3D. You did try it?
I
think?
didn't notice a huge difference with the game I was playing. I may
Okay.
need to try a different game.
Okay.
But it's interesting because it just goes through the steps. You go into your settings, go to sounds, and enable 3D audio through TV speakers.
It's that
It
simple.
guides you through the steps, tells you to turn the TV to the normal volume you usually play at, sit in the position you usually play at, hold the controller about face level, make sure the microphone on the controller's not muted, and it plays.
I saw that because much like where I'm sitting here, I'm next to a wall where I play my PS5, and then there's like an open room. So as Brant was saying, they use the PS5 built-in microphone to sync that audio and figure out the right scale for that 3D audio.
Yeah, it plays like a really high-pitched sound, like two different sounds.
I'm
And
gonna
then
do this after the podcast.
yeah, it takes, I don't know, 3-4 seconds, and it was just it played those high-pitched sounds and then it just was done. So
Cool. So that's a big part of the update. The Verge notes when the second major system update for the PS5 is released today, you can get 3D audio via the built-in speaker salad. There's no word on support for Dolby Atmos audio beyond Blu-ray disc playback or new 3D audio settings for home theater systems. If you own Sony's Pulse 3D headset, there will be a new equalizer setting panel in the sounds control menu so that you can tweak the audio to your liking. So I think we all have the Pulse 3D headset. So that's a pretty big benefit for the three of us here to try that out and see what it is like. Because you guys may have a different experience, but a game that is tailored to the 3D audio, like Ratchet and Clank, I've been playing with headset. And then when it's something that is not necessarily geared towards that, I'll just listen on my TV speakers. So I'm excited to try this out. I haven't done this update yet. I'm excited to try this out and just see how that sounds out of the normal TV speakers. Was there anything else in that update? Trophy tracker feature?
yeah, they've also I'm trying to remember. You can customize the layout of the control center.
Mm-hmm.
And pick,
What is that at?
which features you don't want. So like if you don't say if you don't stream music or something while you're playing PS5, you can remove that option from there. Or if you want,
It's from the bottom bar that you bring.
Yeah, that bottom bar that comes up when you just press the PS button.
The home button.
Yeah, the home button. And that way you can even move those tiles around if you want to organize them a certain way. They are adding to that remote play app to where you can actually play off mobile network. They
Time for my new
suggest
5G phone. Yeah, let's go.
they suggest at least 15 megabits per second both directions.
Okay.
For the best experience.
That's not a high demand at today's rates, but as we know, America's internet situation is touch and go.
And then the last thing,
Unless you get that satellite internet.
let's see. Oh gosh, Usenet
HughesNet for life.
won't be available.
I mean, I'm looking at my audio source on OBS, and it looks like I'm using HughesNet. So who knows?
There's be a bunch of us like,
Yeah. Touch and go station.
But the last thing, let's see, won't be available until September 23rd. Players can start stream share screens from a friend's PS5 into the PS app.
and just being able to
So
do mobile and
interesting
PS
update,
apps is a huge difference, because I mean it sucks trying to find Wi-Fi if you got a decent enough internet. It lets you give you the ability to play a little bit better,
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Xbox just added something. Xbox added like PC local streaming or something.
They updated the Windows
did?
10
That's
app
right.
natively to streaming.
Yeah.
Because before you had to go through a web browser, but now you can just do it through the app. So
Which I thought was coming a long time ago when they changed that app to like Console Companion or something. I thought
Yeah,
that was coming like a
it's-
year ago or so.
And so the other things that, and Brant might have mentioned them already, I apologize if he did. They finally removed the ability to remove the fucking photo icon when you take a picture in there. That way you don't press it like 85 times and you're taking pictures of the icon. If you taking the picture, that's happened to me before. Like, did the picture go? And it's like, blah, 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 and I'm taking pictures of it. And I'm like, great. So, like, you have a picture with the little, like, you just snapped a picture just sitting in there in the top right corner. So they removed that one. And if you look at the trophy tracker, what's pretty cool is that it lists like all my PS5, PS4, and PS3 games separately. So if it's a PS3 game or PS4 game or PS5 game, it lists them on there.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah.
and it has the PS3 logo, the PS4 logo, and the PS5 logo to that game. It's pretty neat. So
That's good. That's a helpful tracker.
I just like it because the logo looks badass. I mean, I like looking at the PS3 logo sometimes. So
I miss those days. We didn't know how good we had it. PlayStation Plus would give you like 3 PS1 games and 2 PS3 games all at one time. Every month you got some random stuff. And we got I mean, as much as we bitch and moan about Nintendo and Virtual Console, that was like the best Sony Virtual Console too, right? PS3. That's when we got PS1, PS2, and PS3 games, and Vita Store was right there, and PSP Store was right there.
at the end of the day, everybody pulled from that playbook, man. When the chips were down, they went back and they got their back catalog. And when they don't need to pull, when they're up, they don't need to pull from that playbook. So
what made that happen? Is that what it is? Is that like who's down and who's not type thing? Is that how it comes out? Like what forces that hand? What makes that more consumer friendly than normal circumstance?
I think what was the first major? I mean, I'm sure there's other consoles that did it before, but I guess the first major console that was backwards compatible was with the PS2, right? I can't think of anyone before that where you can play PS1 games natively.
I mean, Genesis gave you the power-based converter for I
Yeah,
think it was like
and you
20
could
or
play.
$30, but who bought the Master System? The Master System wasn't this.
But see, the PS2 was right out the box. You didn't have to buy an adapter or anything on there or something.
Right.
You just drop the PS1 disc and you can play it.
And you can't compare, on that note, you can't compare Master System install base versus PS1 install base. PS1 was a massive success. You had, 100+ million consoles sold.
So I don't know, man, because you saw the Nintendo one with that idea too when they went to the Wii. They were like, all right, let's go all in on this backwards compatibility, downloadable stuff. Based off of what Xbox did with their Xbox Live service, and and their downloadable games they had on there.
Yeah.
Not many, but they had some. So
and they were coming off being wounded, and 360 added it, off the Xbox generation, and it was spotty. It wasn't great, but the availability was there. And then it was not there for the Xbox One at launch, and then when they were wounded, they added that, and that was a huge goodwill gesture towards people who had played not just 360, but the original Xbox at that point. And they've continued that.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it's like you said. I remember they did it on the Xbox because I think because Sony was doing it, and they were like, all right, let's do it because Sony's doing it. And the Xbox was so far ahead, they're like, we don't need to be doing this. They're
right.
like, yeah, they were like, more people playing new games. We don't have to waste our resources on this.
Whereas,
and it's like you said, now it's like it's an ecosystem. So they're growing that ecosystem. They add all that stuff in there because it keeps you into Xbox. So.
And in the previous generation, it seems like what they really wanted to lay down was Xbox Live, and they established that. So they needed that goodwill of saying, okay, we're launching a brand new Xbox. We know it's only been 4 years. People forget it was 4 years between the original Xbox and the 360. That's kind of a hard sell sometimes if you're in that ecosystem and you're paying for Xbox Live and you have all these games. It's like, okay, most of these are going to work. So that was a huge thing out of the box. And I forgot about this. That was a big upsell for having the hard drive because you couldn't do it without the hard drive. You had to buy that Pro system of 360 to play those original Xbox games. You still do. If you can't have an external or one of the 4 gig Xbox 360E or the other one they made, You have to have a full-blown hard drive to be able to play those backwards compatible games on the,
No,
on the
the
360.
the arcade edition or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
arcade.
The arcade didn't work. You had to have the full-blooded thing if you wanted to play those backwards compatible games. So, we'll see how that shakes out in the future. There was a Switch system update. This comes from Gamatsu. Who wants to grab this one from Sal Romano? This is Switch system update version 13.
Taking a break from his baseball games.
Yeah, he got cut by the Yankees a couple weeks ago. This is Switch version update 13.0.0. I also haven't updated this.
So,
it's two big features
this-
out of this, I think.
Yeah, this finally adds a feature that most people were wondering why the Switch didn't have it to begin with.
It's fucking Bluetooth is built into that feature since 2.0. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they try to argue like, oh, we can't do this.
I think of all
Part of
those adapters that they sold on Amazon that would plug in the bottom of the Switch and add. Oh, Brant Baldwin. Brant showed it to us.
I spent money like on a 30 buck Genki adapter.
And it's in there. They just had to turn it on in firmware. It's already there.
Yep.
Madness.
Sons of bitches. But yes, they've added Bluetooth support for audio output with a catch. Of course, because it's Nintendo, there's always a catch. Can't be if your headset has a microphone that can't be used for in-game chat. They want you to still use your cell phone and all that goodness. There's only up to 2 compatible wireless controllers can be connected to the system while using the Bluetooth audio.
Okay, sure.
Please tell me how
That's
that
fine.
happens. Please tell me how that happens right now. Let's settle this. Remember, PS3 out of the box
know.
was 7 devices, and everybody was like, how do you
7
how do you
Bluetooth,
do
yeah.
7 Bluetooth devices?
What was it? Sony's
I
NBA.
don't know.
The NBA Inside was one of the first games that had like 7 people can play basketball on the same console.
Yep.
I was like, how the fuck you watch that on a tiny ass screen? But it worked.
With a 6-axis controller. Next gen gamers don't want Rumble.
But
But
wait,
this is me reenacting me playing Lair.
For audio listeners, Cesar's
Oh my
guiding some
gosh.
sort of drone around in the air. We're not sure. We're not quite sure.
Lair was not playable until they came up with the controller
Patch,
update.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've tried. I bought Lair. I was excited. I was like, I cannot do
Me
this.
too.
Damn it.
Factor 5 game. It's a Rogue Squadron studio.
Their final game, probably, I think.
but also your Bluetooth audio cannot be used while local wireless communication is active. So say you're out playing your Switch, wherever with some people in the park or whatever, and you want to do local Smash Brothers or whatever, you have to use the built-in speakers. You can't be using your Bluetooth while you're playing local wireless, which is, again, another one of those things that just doesn't make sense. They did add an update for the dock via, let's see, allowing software updates to the Nintendo Switch docks with the LAN ports, and even allowing it to be updated while it's through the LAN port via the LAN port when it's in sleep mode. And other than that, I think it's mostly just more stability and things like that.
My favorite update. System stability.
Billy.
But those were the biggest updates. So I mean, they finally add Bluetooth with some weird caveats, but hey, it's here.
What is that? Almost 4 years later? 3.5?
Yeah.
It reduces me from taking an auxiliary cable now with my Bluetooth headset. Now, I mean, sure, okay, let's go. I mean,
Yeah, you're
It
cutting
can
out a
only go
cable.
up from here.
That's really all
Whatever,
it is,
man.
right? Because it was right there.
Yeah.
And we've all got plenty of headphones that are still 3.5 millimeter jacks.
Yeah.
But
It's easier
get the
just to
appeal.
carry one pair of headphones, though.
That's true. I get the appeal.
it's a dream. It's a dream that I try to achieve. I've literally got a rack behind me with just headphones hanging from them. You guys can't see it. I'll show it to you later. But
I
it's, I'm looking-
see a couple of them sitting right there. By the
Yeah.
way,
I want to see it because I'm close to trying to figure out a solution. I have this whole wall besides our our
I don't know
legal
what you guys
takedowns,
can see.
but I have a whole bit of wall space I want to do for a bunch of cable or a bunch of headphones.
I got this weird. All right, let me see. See full. Oh yeah, you see part of it.
yeah, I see part of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's like it's multiple headphones just hanging on that wall. That's all it is. It's like I bought a wire rack that is supposed to be used for towels,
good.
and I just literally just put the headphones.
Yeah,
That works.
Yeah.
That'll do the
but
trick.
I mean, you'll probably have to buy another one to match your space gray or whatever it's called
iPad?
Sony controller,
Oh, the midnight one.
because they now have the midnight one. Them sons of bitches. They better come out with a set of black plates that I can slap on this PS5.
I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure it's coming.
I have played because the controllers came out and it's the Pulse 3D headset is also black now. But these controllers have made me want a second color for a controller, and I have used a second PS5 controller one time when Cesar and I played the Olympic Games. that was it. I could have
I
been
bought
fine.
two other controllers, and I mean, I've played
But you guys have done
with-
like Sackboy and stuff, right?
with Sackboy. That's it. That's it. That's the only thing we've played with three. Okay, there's one game that I got that we haven't played yet. That once we moved in here, I was like, once we move in, we've got to play Moving Out.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
that's fair.
I was like, that'll be another 3-player game.
So Brant, now
But we
that,
haven't-
now that Switch has opened up a Bluetooth connection with audio, I'm sure there'll be an exploit where you can add your PS5 DualSense controller to Switch, and you could use it in its true intended purpose. Someone will do some sort of stack on that one and flood the Bluetooth connection there and let the override work for DualSense on Switch.
I was about to say, they removed that first path to
Illicity.
Sea of Thieves on the Switch
There we go.
via the little
I'll stick with Illicity.
in NVIDIA workaround
Mhm.
with the jumping 2 pins.
Mhm.
How long before they exploit the Bluetooth, just like they did with the little Wii?
The Lowee. That was a good video. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I did.
Any interest in
Push
doing that?
push a payload to the through the Bluetooth there.
Through the remote? Yeah, the Wii remote. Do you have any interest in doing that?
To a little Wii? I mean, no, definitely not.
I kind of
if-
do. I kind of do just to see if it'll work. But I still know that the little Wii maximum output is still composite.
Yeah, it's a lower resolution.
Yeah, it's not even
It's
S-video. It's just blah. That is like a bare bones travel Wii kind of thing.
But obviously, if they can push the payload through that Bluetooth on the little Wii, then maybe they can do that on the Bluetooth for the Switch now. So it's another avenue, and now that it's open, people are going to start poking and prodding and see what they could do.
Just send one through, and then the army goes and marches.
Yep.
All right, next up,
We'll finally get a Switch 2, maybe.
what that says there?
And we'll finally get a new hardware, finally.
Yeah.
We are in October.
New hardware's compromised. Old hardware's compromised. Switch 2.
So that's this OLED Switch. This will be your what Switch? How many have you bought since then?
This will be my fourth one.
Fourth one. Okay, this is my second. Brant has several in the household.
No, it's your fourth and fifth one, right? Because you got both models. Didn't you, Cesar?
I got
Or did you
one-
only get the white?
I got the white one, and then I got the neon
So he
one.
was
But
right.
one of those are,
Brant was right.
Oh. but one of those is Renee, so I didn't cancel.
Oh.
Okay. Friend of the show. Renee's basically like a sub member at this point. He's mentioned in
Yeah.
every episode. Who's Renee? When are we
The
going to get
lore
Renee
of
on?
Renee.
He's got an OG one, and I was like, I got these two. I was like, I won't cancel the one. I won't cancel them if you want one of them. And so he's like, yeah, he'll take one of them. I was like, all right. So
When are we going to get Renee on to talk games with us one time?
Technically, he's here. He could have just walked in here, but
Are you going to share the same mic and everything?
yeah, he last thing he put in the chat, he's playing PUBG right now. Like I told you, last game, season 8, probably.
I'm not in the chat. I don't have it up.
Mm-hmm.
PUBG.
Get that chicken dinner, brother.
What's he playing on? Do you know?
PS5.
PS5.
Yeah. I think his plan, because on the road, I think he said he's eventually going to get a Series S for his truck, and then have a Series X.
Perfect for travel, right?
Yeah.
For
That's his
streaming and
plan,
digital
yeah.
games, it seems ideal.
Have y'all seen that? Like, I think it's a Kickstarter for the screen that they have to put on the back of the
Shit.
S.
Or the PS1
shit.
style.
Yeah, it's the PS1 style.
Brent, you're talking to two people who used to sell those at retail between Intex, GameCube, and PS2 options, and the official. I remember we sold the official PS1 copies even when I was working retail in 2004. We still had those PS1 screens. We couldn't get rid of them, and now they're like collector's items.
Mm-hmm.
I've got two of them.
Well, it was right at the end of them, so.
Yeah, I got one when it was clearance because that PS1 came out after PS2. Why doesn't anybody do that anymore? Let's backtrack. Let's touch on this. Let's touch on this.
There's one company that made that case, and it was like a zip-up case, and you could put your PS4 or Xbox One in it.
Like
and that was
recently?
The last thing I saw. Yeah, and it was a couple years ago. I mean, it was like $200 and something.
Okay, so you could get, let's say you can get a $100 IPS 1080p screen. Those are a dime a dozen. That market is kind of, because when those were a big thing, CRTs were your major TVs, right? Like when people were buying a game system, they were getting a composite red, white, and yellow hookup, and they were putting that in their TV, and that's all they needed. You needed stereo sound, and you needed something that was better than RF for everything. So that's kind of a byproduct of its era, but so the NES came out with the top loader after the Super Nintendo came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had the PS1 came out after the PS2. You had the slim PS2. Well, that's kind of a bad example. You had the 360e console that came out that was modeled after the 360 or the Xbox One launch console. Why are we not getting these cheaper versions? Why don't we have? Because we've talked about it on this podcast, you still can't find a PS4. It's impossible to find a PS5. You still can't find a PS4. I can't walk into any store and just buy a PS4, right? Yeah. Why do we not have a slim, condensed, is it the chip shortage? Is that what's drawing up everything? Because we got cheaper, slimmer versions of these other consoles after their successor has already come out as a cheaper alternative, and they were all successful. That NES top loader was successful. That PS1 was successful. There are tons of PS1s out there. Think of how many PS1s they sold after the PS2 came out. That small, eject and power button PS1, the little tiny one, the one we know as PS1. That was my first PlayStation. My friend upgraded to a PS2 and sold me his PS1, and I had this instant library that I could pull from. Like, why have we not seen that before? I would say the Wii Mini is an example of that, but that was after the Wii U. Yeah, that is an example. Mm-hmm. The Wii Mini is one of those too. Is that the last one we got like that? Or the 360, the 360E?
Yeah,
the E1s.
Like that.
Yeah, and that's a good console. I have two of those. That's a great 360.
Jeez.
It's all demand stuff. So, I mean, because they always have that slight error where you have in between consoles where they fill that void where, there's a lot of great games on that previous generation and they're still building up the new one. But that's when there was like a differences in power and quality. I mean, everything seems to be too similar now. So
I wonder if that's coming because we keep talking about PS5s and PS4s, right? You can't go into the store and find a PS4. Have y'all seen the Xbox One S or a One X recently?
No.
And what did they just announce? That the Game Pass Ultimate, cloud streaming, was coming to those old consoles. I bet you a new Xbox One is on the horizon. Would that not be a smart bet? Here's a $200 Xbox One with a disk drive, you get, maybe you don't get the Ultra Blu-ray support of the 1S, but you get all this other, or maybe it's like a 1S, maybe it's a 1S digital, or it doesn't play those physical copies. But it is the gut of all that and the promise of, hey, the new Forza Horizon, you're going to be able to play this on this box. New Gear 6, day one. Halo Infinite, you're going to be able to play a 4K version of this on this box, day one with Game Pass. Tell me that's not a good sales pitch.
I think that the Series X is actually selling really well. And before they would go back to Xbox One, I think, and they've hinted at this, that they just come out with a streaming box or a streaming stick.
I agree with that. I think they would just get an app for whatever's existing. Roku, whatever your phone is already an app on Android. Whatever's readily available, then versus to go back and use resources to build a secondary console.
Okay, pitch me that stick. How much is that streaming stick?
I don't even think they make their own streaming stick. I think they'll just put an app somewhere.
Add it onto something already on?
Yeah, like Roku. Just added the Roku, something that's outside the Android.
Either
I'll add it to every monitor or HDMI device I have in this whole entire household. I'll add Game Pass Ultimate to that.
Basically, yeah. I mean, because you can add. That's the Microsoft method. You can add Teams to almost every device. You can add Office to almost every device. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. That's been their strategy going forward. It doesn't have to be a Microsoft product. I don't think they'll waste money on that. So, unless there's a greater need, unless they come out with like a stick that does multiple things, like can stream movies and TV shows and other applications, maybe. But I don't.
And on top of that,
you make a good point. You don't need those resources. Go ahead, Brent.
You can throw that app wherever, but then you have a special Game Pass bundle that is like 3 or 4 months of Game Pass with an Xbox controller for a certain amount of price.
Sure.
And that way
you where to buy it. I'm getting one. Yeah.
I mean, even if you sell it, because they're the Xbox controllers are about 60, 70. Something like that, $60, $59.99.
Never paid full price for them, so I'm guessing 50 or 60.
Yeah. So I mean, even if you sell it for 70, something like that, just a little bit more, and three months of Game Pass or 6 months of Game Pass, something like that, enough to get somebody's feet wet and get them used to it, and they go, hey, I didn't have to buy a console. All I had to do was buy a controller, and now I can spend like $14 a month. Or even less if you just want to do Game Pass Ultimate, and
even then they don't
play everything.
Even then they're not even going for that. Remember, they're doing updates where you can use a PlayStation controller to play Game Pass. It's like
That's
whatever
true.
you got. They don't care. We're talking about Microsoft. They want your subscription services. That's how they make their money. I work for a company that pays a lot of money on Microsoft subscription services. That's all they care about. So
it works.
Yeah,
it absolutely works. All right. Oh, God. I don't even remember what news story that was.
I'll get us back on track. I talked about there was an NVIDIA exploit on the Switch, but there was a supposed leak from an NVIDIA server, and they did come out and say that they are aware of the list of games that's floating around.
This list.
And
this list.
From what they were saying, that anything that was on here is just for internal tracking and testing. This does not confirm that any of these games are coming out, Brand.
Sure, Brand. We believe you, Brand. Fine. That's fine, Brand.
But I'll skip
Nothing
down
else has
here.
been confirmed since then, Brand. That's fine.
I'll skip down here to get to the meat and potatoes of the story here. So on the list of games that they found on I guess that were pulled from this leak. So we have Chrono Cross Remastered.
Oh, okay. Let's backtrack for a second. So we're going to start with the Square Enix portion of the show. And this is the dream list. This is
what people have been wanting.
We have all loved games for 30 plus years, the three of us at this point. this is what we would choose, and then we make it a little bit more recent after that. But go ahead, Brant.
Final Fantasy Tactics Remastered.
Oh, following up Chrono Cross.
And just remember, take any of these with a grain of salt.
Or two.
While I say the next one, Final Fantasy IX Remake.
What does that mean? What is that? What does that mean? We've already got it ported to Steam and PS4 and Switch. What is Final Fantasy IX Remake? What is that?
I don't know.
What would you want from one? Cesar, what do you want from a Final Fantasy IX Remake?
I don't know.
HDTV?
Even if they just bring it up to normal. But that's the thing is, if it's a true remake, it could cause more controversy because a lot of people consider 9 to be the pinnacle Final Fantasy game.
It's a good
and there was a little bit of contention around the Final Fantasy VII remake, just the way that the direction was on that. So, I mean, I don't know.
In a way. Yes, in a way, there was. But the consensus
was... Cesar loved it.
Yeah, and the consensus was, this is a great remake. This is a great reimagining. Cesar's looking for something. What are you hunting?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You go.
Brant, continue down the list of dreams. I know one that Cesar's after. It's in the middle.
Both me and Cesar are dreading this, hoping this isn't true, but Kingdom Hearts 4. But even if it even if it is true, I mean, it's probably not coming out until like 2025 or 6 or something, or ever.
For remaster of 3 and remasters of 1 and 2 and all the other chapters.
Yeah. The previously rumored Resident Evil 4 remake, which
this intrigues me.
Is going on.
This is an incredible game, and I've recently dabbled with the Wii one, just kind of loaded up a save and just played the Wii one, and like, what is this as a remake? Because it's such a perfect game as is, but I'm sure they'll improve on it somehow. So that's intriguing.
Street Fighter 6, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows is in the pipeline there. Another previously rumored Dragon's Dogma 2. Monster Hunter 6.
Sorry, Brant. I would love if the subtitle of Street Fighter 6 is Street Fighter 2 Super Extra Turbo. It's like another port of Street Fighter 2, but they put it behind Street Fighter 6.
Let's see.
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter 6, the Grand Theft Auto remasters. BioShock 2022.
The Vita game we never got.
The Vita game we never got.
I want to see that. I don't have to play it. Just show me what BioShock looked like on Vita.
Well, that's the thing is from everything I've heard about that game, it was announced way too early. Yep. At that point, it was just very early concepts.
Extremely.
And then it never even got off the ground or never really got into development.
Sure. Show me what you have. Show me concept art. Show me graphic engine demos. Show me whatever that is. I want to see it.
Let's see. But back to this. Mirror's Edge Remastered.
Can you not play that on Xbox One via the backwards compatibility thing?
I thought it's backwards compatible.
That'd be the best way to play that, right? Like, I'm playing Dead Space now.
Untitled Respawn game.
Sure. Yes. Day one.
I guess that might be like Untitled Goose Game. Who knows?
Here's the one I was mentioning in the preamble.
Titanfall 3.
So sorry, you want that?
I definitely want that. I just don't believe it.
Oof. I don't either.
I
don't know what it is. I just don't believe it. Tekken Ocho?
Ocho.
Hachi.
The Talos Principle 2, Crysis 4.
The missus is a huge fan somehow of the Talos Principle. I don't know if it's
what
like the puzzle element or what.
What little bit I played of it is pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. She just like...
They throw you in these rooms, and then you gotta like solve puzzles to get out of them and go into the next area, yeah.
That's it.
Let's see. XCOM 3, Injustice 3, Gods Will Fall, Destroy All Humans 3, Elite Sniper 5, Cities Skyline 2.
Sure, we don't have too many of those.
Uh-huh.
It's like add-on packs for days. It's probably paying $100 in add-on packs for that game, for the first one at least.
Fight
How
for
many cities do
Middle
you get with
Earth.
those Skylines?
It's like freaking SimCity on crack, man. Like when you go in there, it's like when I fired up the game, it's like holy shit. There's like
City on
On
crack.
crack.
yeah, it's like
Sid
so
Meier's
many-
City
so
on
many
crack.
Let's see.
That was hard to move past.
Fight for Middle Earth. Mortal Kombat 12. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Remaster. Don't remaster that game. That one wasn't that great.
don't
Which
worry.
one?
Activision already said that they're not remastering it for
Which
you.
one was it?
Modern Warfare 3.
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know. That game peaked at Modern Warfare 2.
That Modern Warfare 3 is right when those the developers of those studios left, and
Went
there
to
was always a
Respawn.
big thing that original ending was not attended the way it happened. So
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then Hell Divers 2. And then the
More hell.
more hell to dive into.
Hellish. More hellish.
the rest of these rumors kind of revolve around Sony bringing more of their IPs to PC.
Which, let's full stop at this point. This is a surprise to no one. If any of these games come to PC, no one should be shocked.
No,
Sony has said this is a platform they're going to go for. They have brought some huge heavy hitters. Last week we were talking about the Uncharted collection that's coming to PC. The 4 and
The
Lost
Richard
Legacy.
Collection.
The Richard collection. That's it. The Uncharted Richard collection. And
I got my marker and masking tape ready to mark my edition.
That's it. I'll sign it for you. I mean,
Sure.
we'll make it
Hey,
official.
It's gonna. I mean, if I can
I'll
get,
autograph
get
that
to the,
shit.
we can get to the printers. I'll print out a real label on there and just replace it. I'll throw away the old one. I'm that confident. I'll throw away the original label and just like this, they will never leave. It'd be the Richard Collection.
That is the original label. They reached out to me to make the box art and everything. You don't have
As
to.
they
You don't have to make
should.
anything. Yeah, it's the Richard collection. Anyways, long story short, this should not surprise anyone if these come to another platform outside of PS4/PS5.
And these titles would include the 2018 God of War.
Gasp!
No.
It can't be. My purchase validation is no longer there. What do I do? Cesar Brandt, what do I do with my life?
Time for me to go on Reddit and break a copy of my disc and take a picture of it and put it on there. This is
But
what
I've
you
already
get.
done those things. What other outlets do I have besides Reddit? Can I go to Twitter?
Oh, yes. And
Yes,
Cry.
yeah.
I've already done that. Where else should I cry? May I go to
You
Facebook?
should.
May
you
I
should
go
also-
to Instagram.
You should also go and get your old jerseys and burn those when people leave our teams. So
I mean, I've been doing that. What the fuck have you been doing?
I still got my Devontae Freeman Falcons jersey in the closet. So
To continue on with this list to destroy Richard's Sony
Slash
fanboy
Falcons
rant.
Slash Atlanta Falcons.
we're losing every game this year.
We're losing
We
every
screwed up.
single
It's
game.
happening.
Even
Yeah.
the brand new ones like Horizon Forbidden West,
Yes, Brant.
Gran Turismo 7, Returnal,
No,
Demons.
more people can play these games.
Oh,
What do I do? Brant,
Demon Souls.
Brant, I paid $400 for this system, and I still have one of those systems on a FedEx truck. How do I validate?
This
You
one,
guys are
this
laughing,
next
I'm
one,
serious. How do I
this
validate?
next one will crush you. This next one will crush you. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Insomniac said it's only possible with the SSD inside the PS5.
And I can play it on my MacBook Pro from 2008.
What's funny is like if these games do come out on PC, you know, Sony might fuck around and make some sequels. So
Mm-hmm.
make some money.
And then the
That
last
can't
two
benefit
on here,
anybody.
Sackboy Big Adventure and Ghost of Tsushima.
Ugh. Burn it to the ground. I'm embarrassed. Tonight, I've never been embarrassed to be a PlayStation fan since buying... since the day I bought my PlayStation 1 from my friend who bought a PS2.
Don't worry, Richard. All your consistent bitching just now, Sony saw this and they're reversing course on all these. They've unannounced all these games for PC just so
seriously?
they can validate your purchase.
They said no one with a PC should ever be able to play a
$400 is
PlayStation
safe?
game.
Brand,
It is now.
brand
Yeah.
is safe?
Yeah.
Okay, so
You're-
only I can enjoy these?
Your
Yes.
one-time fee of $400 versus multiple fees of $50 or $60 on other places.
Okay, that's
And
all that
validated
matters.
those. Yeah.
I'm glad we brought this up. I haven't been able to sleep. I've been staying awake thinking about other people playing these games, and outside of the three of us, I just didn't think anybody could really handle it. It just
All right.
for
But-
the fact that it would be somewhere else, I couldn't sleep. It was awful.
But let's be real. Let's be real. Remember when when Xbox was down in their dumps,
What do you mean?
they gave Phil the same
They've never
bullshit.
been.
Remember when he
Yeah.
came out and started announcing stuff for PC?
What did they do? What do you mean?
They gave him hell. They're like, why is this coming out PC also? This should be Xbox only.
What do you mean?
Remember?
More people could play it?
That's basically what he said.
More
So he's like,
accessible?
hey,
Why? Why would they let
So-
more people play the fun game?
but
Cesar, tell me why.
It's mine.
But
It
see,
belongs
like
to me.
in all seriousness, I mean, that you see that community's kind of finally got over it. So this is going to
Yeah.
happen with the PlayStation 1 eventually. So I mean,
The
it's going to
fun
be
game
eventual.
belongs on the box that I bought. Do not let the
Ugh.
fun game go somewhere else. This can't happen. The two of you let it happen. I blame both
We
of
let it
you.
happen. Oh,
We'll see what happens with this NVIDIA thing. A lot of these have come true. I know Destroy All Humans 2 was one of them, and it seems like PS5 is the lead platform on Destroy All Humans 2. And that first remake was apparently very well received. I bought a copy. I haven't played it yet, but I think it was a good remake.
And yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays on Switch, but
I'm not. I'm happy that it's there. What do you mean?
I love my subpar 30 frames per second games on Switch. I love getting angry like, you again.
It's there. It's funny how I've got it turned. That was my indie machine until I had a decent PC, and it was like, why would I buy something for Switch ever that's available on PC at all? A decent PC over whatever comes to Switch, but the choices are there. We're not gonna cry about anything available on anything. And last but not least, we have your coming soon to Xbox Game Pass. Final Fantasy 13. I thought it was already there. September 2nd? Comes on PC? It's already there, right?
no. That was 7.
What?
This is 13. I thought 13 was
Oh,
already
this
out.
13?
Yeah, September 2nd. Craftopia,
Oh,
September
dang.
2nd.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the PC. Or is that the
It's console
Virtuos
PC.
version we talked about last week?
This seems like very familiar because we talked about the R-Full Escape and how that was out, and we told everybody to play it.
These are the
Yes.
ones.
Brent, you would be fired from Newsmaster if anyone else was available to take the title.
Are you serious?
No, it's a new article they added. I'm giving Brand a hard time. This is Craftopia, Breath Edge, Signs
Yeah,
of the
there we go.
Sorner, Surgeon Simulator 2, access all areas, Final Fantasy 13 for console and PC, and important to note that PC version
So,
is specifically the Virtuos
Brant,
one.
I apologize. You're reading the old one. So the new one is further down the page, and you have to click
Yeah.
on it. It's Phoenix Point, Straya Ascending, Flynn, Son of Crimson.
Origami.
Crimson
Iron
Skies or
Fish.
something?
Yep. Skatebird, Superliminal, Origami 2,
Superliminal
Lost
is a big one.
Words,
Origami 2 is a big one.
Sable, Subnautica Below Zero, Tainted Grail Conquest, Luminous Gate, Unsighted are all coming to Game Pass starting from the 15th today up until October 1st. And it seems like there's almost one every day coming in.
Which is a great pipeline, you would say, for content.
Well, a lot of these are new indies, and a lot of them are big indies too. So
I mean, Final Fantasy 13 is huge. But this is just a couple updates, right?
yes, and there's 11
What's leaving?
more games that had added touch controls, which was Blinks the Time Sweeper, Crimson Skies, Chris Tales, Halo Spartan Assault, Halo Wars Definitive Edition, Halo Wars 2, Last Stop, Omno, Raji, Ancient Epic, The Medium, and Tropical 6. You can play the game with touch controls, but you still can't play it on your One X.
Friend of the show, Jeremy, loved Omno. He's a big fan. And important to note, like Cesar mentioned last week, maybe Forza Motorsport 7 this is your last day to grab that one.
Yeah.
As of recording, September 15th.
Do not forget to claim the free cars because those are going away. If you don't claim them, they go away forever. So you have to claim the free cars. Yeah.
Okay, so
I just went and did mine today. So
I'm leaving this podcast now. What do I have to go get?
Go into the Microsoft Store.
Yep.
Click on the Forza 7 app.
Yep.
If you haven't already bought it, if you go below it, there's add-ons, and the add-on says free. Click on all those because those go away after midnight. Yep.
Okay. Do I need to get the Ultimate? Do I need to get the regular? How many SKUs?
I bought the Ultimate because it was only $20, and then I paid the extra $6.99 because there's a $6.99 car pack that was not part of the Ultimate. I went ahead and bought that. It was only $6.99 and added a couple more cars. After that, all the other additional DLC pieces for cars were free.
And you're good forever, right?
I have every piece of everything for Forza 7 now.
Okay. I think it's going to be a big deal down the road. Still, I mean, I'm not going to rehash this, but your most recent Forza, your most recent driving simulator, so in PlayStation's case, this will be Gran Turismo. You cannot buy this. You have to get the East 41. You have to get the arcade or Forza Horizon version. That is important to note, especially with Microsoft leaning into PC and Game Pass elements. How does this happen? We don't know. We can't answer that.
It's the only thing they say is just car licensing. That's it.
And then we talked about last week, like Project Cars has eclipsed that, and there was a Need for Speed that still is available that has older car license in that.
So, but then we give Sony a hard time because MLB games their games on Game Pass. So it's all about licensing deals. Sometimes you get bad ones. Sometimes you get good ones.
Yeah, that's MLB. MLB stuff.
You play the hand you're dealt.
That's true.
Depending on the licensing deal, the deal you get. So they probably went cheap on the licensing deal for that reason. So who knows?
They assume they would be good to go, right?
Yeah, I mean they probably went cheap on the Microsoft one because they got so many licensed cars on there. It probably costs way too much money. It's not like I just bought the new Cruising game, I think, which has Nissan and GMC, General Motors cars in there. But they don't have every car brand in there because it's probably expensive as fuck. So
they were talking about remaking old Cruising games. I know a friend of the show, Jeremy himself, is a big fan of the Cruising games. Did they come out today?
Came out Tuesday.
Or Tuesday?
I got mine from Best Buy because I had the $10 gift card. So
he did. That's a good promo. Did you try it out?
Not yet.
Okay.
I took that $10 gift card and used it on Deathloop, and I think I ended up getting Deathloop for like $20, and then I got $10 more in rewards for Deathloop on that. So
nice. It's like the old Kmart chain we used to keep going. All right, I guess that's the best segue into games played.
Yep.
I have played a little bit more Dead Space. I haven't finished Chapter 4. There was a bullshit section where I had to run across the outside of the ship and avoid asteroids. Fuck that part. I figured it out, but I had to burn one of my medium air containers to get past it. And then after that, there's a story bit where I have to destroy asteroids as they're coming to me, kind of in a Star Wars A New Hope, kill the TIE fighters out of this gun turret type section. And I failed it twice and said, fuck this game. So I've not gone back to it. I will go back to it because I will beat this. But that is the extent of my Dead Space experience for the past week. I played a little bit of Halo. Nothing more to add there. Season 8 is coming up for those keeping track of their rewards and such. I'm still way behind on the rewards despite playing many, many hours of Halo. My kids have now moved on to... So the Sega Genesis is hooked up, and they're still Toe Jam and Earl fanatics. But they also wanted to know, hey, Daddy, what else can we play on Genesis? And I can't just pick a single-player game, right? Because there's plenty of great single-player games on Genesis. I could recommend 8 of them right now on this podcast. But they're not quite to the point of playing like a Golden Axe or a Gunstar Heroes or something like that. So I did a Google search. So I'm like, okay, I'm out of my element. These are not the games I played. And we stumbled onto not Castle of Illusion, but World of Illusion. Mickey Mouse World of Illusion, which is 2-player. You can have Mickey Mouse, you can have Donald Duck, and there are some really cool co-op elements to it. I left them alone with it. I made sure they started the 2-player thing, and I'm trying to teach them this because I will be stuck with them forever if I don't just bring. You may be able to touch on this as a parent, but you can either fire up the game and be right there with it for the whole duration and never have any of your own time, or you can try to let them figure it out and leave and just kind of be there as a strategy guide, more or less. Like, I don't know, let me look, and then see what the answer to that is. And I enjoy watching them play Toe Jam and Earl. It's documented on this podcast as one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm okay with hanging out with that and offering advice and such. But, you know, they're just looking for something else to play. I'm not really on top of World of Illusion, for example. So they would get stuck in places and run up to me, and with the joys of the internet these days, I just look it up, and I actually have the full PDF of World of Illusion right there, and it's like, hey, there's spots where Mickey goes through, and the funny thing is they would describe it to me like, Dad, they went through with Mickey, and I can't go through with Donald. His tail's too fat. And it makes sense to me. I'm like, yeah, his tail's too fat. Why can't you make it? So I have a PDF of the manual for Mickey Mouse World of Illusion, and specifically, the co-op is built to where, you know, Mickey gets through, and then he turns around and hits a specific button, and then pulls Donald through. So there's some really cool co-op elements to this, and there's a bit to it where they're jumping up over trees. You know, you have to jump up to this branch and then jump across to that branch, and Mickey can make it, and Donald can't. But Mickey has a ability where you can press A and he drops down this rope, and Donald just grabs it and goes straight up with it. And I've learned more about this game through them playing it than I've never played this game before, despite it being on that Genesis that I have for all these years. And that bit has been fun, and just watching them, the bits I watched them play that World Illusion game, it's really good. It's great. The Genesis, we're not going to go into a Super Nintendo versus Genesis argument on this podcast. That's way tired. It's a 30-year-old argument at this point. But that FM synthesizer from Yamaha on the Genesis, it brings its own special chipset and sound set that the Sony-produced Super Nintendo chip doesn't have. And there are games that achieve greatness with it. There are games that are drawn back by it. Same with the Super Nintendo, and you can famously listen to like Super Metroid tracks on Genesis sound chip. Like, how would this sound on Genesis if it came out on it? And it's different. It's good, but it's different. But the sound effects specifically tailored for this World of Illusion for Mickey Mouse on Sega Genesis, they're great. They're really, really good, and they're enjoying the hell out of it. My kids are Genesis kids. I didn't think it would. I know you're laughing. I didn't think I would have Genesis kids, but they've not had a lot of recent interaction with Super Nintendo, and as we're scrolling through, maybe that's my next step. Like, all right, we're done with this machine. We're gonna hook up something else. Let's give it a go.
No, them and the Miyamoto's kids.
Right. Yeah, but I'm thinking about it because they're lucky. They don't know they're lucky. They're gonna figure it out at some point. But they have a whole library of stuff to pull from that. Maybe this is nostalgia, but you know, I wish I had. I wish I'd be able to provide for this for my kids. You know, but what is a Genesis and a Super Nintendo to them? This is like the Roblox and Minecraft generation. They actually have stumbled upon Roblox YouTube videos and stuff, and they like watching people play Roblox. And I can't tell you what the hell Roblox is. I don't know. I have no clue what it is. It sounds like dreams. It sounds like games within games on a platform, and I don't
Pretty
know.
much.
But I'm trying to. I'm not gonna say I'm trying to ground them, but they recognize that. You know what, Dad? That Toe Jam and Roll game is pretty damn good, and we can both play it, and we would like to play it right now. And for now, I'm good with that. They like that, and the Genesis is hooked up, and it's like, okay, let's try to find you something else. I talked about last week about trying to get them into a fighting game with each other and see what they think, and they still haven't bid on that. So I have no update on the fighting game thing, but that is it. Outside of Halo, an aggravating bit of Dead Space that is probably just my own lack of skill set in game playing, and my children playing some Sega Genesis. But what do you guys have for games played?
Mine's pretty easy. I just played maybe about 4 hours of Tales of Arise.
Ooh, what do you say? What do you think?
I like it. I like it a lot. It's very different. Right when you load up, it's still it's game. I mean, the style of the game is still linear. It still brings you along a path. When you start the game, you play a character named the Iron Mask. He's some kind of character with an iron mask over his head. That's the name Iron Mask. Yeah, he follows that same trope that they always have in RGRPGs, where that person has amnesia, doesn't know where they came from. He's been converted into a slave. So it's this one's a little bit messy because I mean some of these Tales games have like some sci-fi elements to it. That's all on the Star Wars side, most of the developers left, and their own type of games. But this one is another planet down to Dahan, which is a smaller planet nearby, and they basically take over that planet and outmuscle them with all this technology. And so this whole land is divided up into like 5 warlords that rule it, and they're having this competition to see who's going to be the next ruler of their home planet. And so you're working as a slave, mining, like you're in the fire, like a fire area, and you're like mining this area, and this just people are dying. And so they figured out that it's kind of similar to like a magical, was it Madoku, where they're using it to extravagant energy. It's an anime.
Mm-hmm.
And so like they're trying to pull energy, and they get energy from people from dying. Basically, the whole thing, as they work themselves to death, it gives off a certain amount of energy that's connected. It's collective. So like they're not even mining for anything; they're just doing it to kill people, basically, to pull their energy. So you end up running into
yeah.
I
was about to say it.
Batteries, human batteries.
So you end up running into a girl. I think I'm trying to remember her name. Like I said, I'm still a couple of hours in there trying to get in there. I think it's Sion, and she is one of the people like she's from their planet, and so as you go through and you meet with her, she has her own agenda. They're like trying to capture her for whatever reason, and she ends up joining these rebels where you decide that you're going to go after that warlord in the area you're at. So I mean that's where I'm at in the story wise. There's only a couple hours in there. Gameplay wise, it's follows like a linear path. So you see a map and you go through, and you can look at the map, and it goes in like these little alcoves to get treasures and fight enemies. Enemies are all populated on the screen. There's no random battles. When you get into the battle system, it's been updated. It's different. Everything's tied to the right side of the controller. You have R1 does a basic attack. R2 does your dodge and roll. And then your spirit arts are tied to triangle, square, and X. You can do 3 different ones, and then as you level up, you can change the spirit arts you have on there to stronger ones. And then circles.
Like Valkyrie Profile?
Similar, but it's not like that because Valkyrie Profile is turn-based. This is not turn-based. You can run around the screen. And then circles jump. So you play with your main character, and all the secondary ones are an auto battle. So I mean that's all that is. That's about as far as I got in the game. Like I said, it's still kind of doing the first couple of hours, still like the tutorial. Like, oh, you have to do quests. Here's the quest thing. That's like, oh, with these people, and then you go back on the main story. Still kind of showed you ways to play And you still have your skits that's been famous in all the Tales games. Press R1 and get the skit, and it's kind of like on the manga background where it's like color painted and it's showing us movements and they're speaking throughout. So you get a little bit more of the story and interaction from the characters that way. So like I said, I only got maybe like 4 or 5 hours into it. I'm liking it so far. It's very different, but it's good though. Like I said, the story's not super
PS5?
original. PS5, yeah.
You play on PS5?
Outside of that, I also picked up Deathloop. I got maybe a couple hours into that.
Tell me about the Deathloop.
Deathloop is really, really, really good.
Really?
It's really fucking good.
What is it? I still don't even know. They just shove it down our throats. I don't even know.
Yeah, from what I've heard, all of the trailers and promotions that they've done don't really do the game justice.
It's not. It's. I don't know if it's. It might be smart marketing because it sells it a certain way, and then when you go into this game, it's nothing like the way they sold it.
What is it? Please tell me. I have no clue.
As you start out the game, you're instantly getting murdered by Juliana. She's killing you, and then you wake up on a beach, and you have amnesia. You have no idea who your name is, how you got there, and as you crawl yourself off the beach, you start seeing letters hovering in the air, like you've done this before. Go this way.
Okay.
Did you miss me?
What are you doing in this instance? Are you in a single-player campaign? Are you playing multiplayer? Are you playing?
No, I mean, when you play out the game, you only have one option: a single player. There's no multiplayer unlocked yet. This is kind of like their tutorial part.
Okay.
So as you go through the level, and it kind of leads you along, like you see some of the story bits, like the character doesn't know who he is, and people are asking like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I don't even know what the fuck I am." So then you start seeing like these words, and it's like, "This is me. This is me from before." Pick up here, like they'll tell you to pick up this gun, and then the words tell you your name, Colt. It's like, so is that my name? Is that name Colt? And you'll see like all over the place, Colt, 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 Colt. So it's like stuff from his past self that's trying to tell himself on there. So you go up to this door, and it's like, you know the passcode for this door. Open the door. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know the fucking passcode. And so it forces you to go off the trail, and you end up running into Juliana again. And she's kind of like, it's crazy.
They killed you?
Yeah, it is crazy because she's like fucking with him. So like as you go through, he's trying to destroy this whole thing. They call it a death loop, but he's stuck in a time loop. But every time he starts a time loop, he starts from scratch. He doesn't remember anything. She's trying to protect the time loop, and she remembers everything. So she gets him to fall for the same trick every time. Like, come here, I'll help you. And it's like you see the words like, don't trust her, don't trust her. And he goes in the library, and she's just fucking with him. She's like, you keep doing the same thing over and over again. He's struggling because he doesn't remember who he is. And so, and it's funny because like he's like, did I date you before? That's all he kept saying on there. And she's like, there's a lot of like familiarity with these characters, and he's like, she's taking it personal. Like, and he's like, I don't know what I did to you. And he's like, she's beating him up. It's like, yeah, I definitely dated her before. So it's like, as he goes through,
why are you killing me? Have we been out together?
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's like he's a funny dude, man. It's like as you go through the library, and she throws him down and starts trying to kill him again, and she's like, all right, she's like, I won't kill you instantly. Try to do something different. And so like you'll see these words like go through the window. So you kick the window and you jump out. Then another version of himself grabs himself. And he's like, what the fuck is happening? He's like, you're another me. He's like, I wrote the fucking Axis thing on the back of the postcard. Get the postcard. And then he lets him go and dies. And then he starts loose back in there. So that postcard in the very beginning of the game that I just threw away, I had to pick it back up and look at it. It's like, oh, the code's on the back of the postcard.
Oh,
so it's like,
that's awesome.
So as you go through, it's like the story's so fucking good. It's so like good. It pulls you through, man. Yeah. So like as you go through, like Juliana, she's fucking with him on there. So the bit that I get on there is I'm trying to break this loop, but I guess I was part of this group of villains, and I want to get out. That's what it looks like so far, because he puts on there like you never worked well in a group. You see like the little conversations you have with yourself. They'll tell you on there you never worked well in a group.
Yeah.
And she goes on there, it's like, yeah, so and so Colt betrayed us, so we got to kill him. Basically, she's telling everybody else on there, and so like he doesn't know what's going on still. He's still trying to figure out, like, he doesn't even know how he got there, what he's doing. He doesn't even know what a loop is. Everybody's telling him that he's trying to break it. He's like, I don't even fuck what's happening. So I finally got to the point where
it's me.
I just died down there when I was playing with you guys, and I fucked up and died. So like, if you, it's borderline permadeath. So you find a trinket that belongs to him that goes onto his arm. So you get
Okay.
2 free passes. So if you die twice, you're done. You have to start from the very beginning of the game. It takes you very back. You got to redo everything. So like as you go through the game, you get your guns, go to certain areas. If you die those 2 times, you have to go all the way back to the beginning and start from scratch. It's permadeath. So you get 1 death. I already wasted in that level because I alerted everybody. And now I only got 1 left. So you get 1 death, and it kind of rewinds you back a little bit. But they give you 2 chances to complete what you need to do. So as you go through, you see this map with like 8 different villains. They've talked about this to death on their little promotional thing. So there's 8 different villains at different parts on this island that you investigated. That they have their own slabs. So you don't know what the slab is for because that's basically what I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So apparently my area was called Black Reef. I'm going back to it, and that's where I'm trying to get more bits of the story. Apparently that was the area he was from, but he doesn't remember it. So
the slab in Gears of War games is the prison.
Basically. So what's crazy is like the water kills me because it's like an island in the middle of the Antarctic. So it's like ice all in the water. So like if you walk on the water, it slowly kills you. If you go from full submerged in the water, you drown. You freeze to death. So it's like I can't get in the water at all. There's some areas I have to run through the water, and it's crazy. I had to go quickly. So it's very interesting. It's you get a hack device too. I got a hacker where I can hack open doors and hack machines. And it's similar to like kind of like BioShock, but I don't have to do that weird mini game where I have to do like the little connection of the dots in BioShock. So
mini game sucked. The mini game sucked so bad.
Yeah. So, but it's I've only got a couple hours into it, but it's really fucking good. It's like and the voice actor for
I was
Colt,
watching you play some. It looked great.
the voice actor for Colt is so funny, man. Like Juliana was making fun of his jacket. He's like, damn it, I love this jacket. It's like he just does this little offbeat stuff, like the stuff he's not even supposed to be worried about, and he's just like, man, I love this jacket. It's like, why is she talking shit about my jacket? You know, like it's good, man. I'm enjoying the hell of it. It's got a lot of charm. Like these characters have charm. Like whatever they use for their advertisement campaign, it's like the very basic necessities. I guess they didn't want to give anything away, but then it's a double-edged sword. You don't know if people will be interested enough to go in there and figure it out, you know?
Yeah, because this was never a day one for me. I'm like, what is even this game? And we see it every event, and I still don't know.
It's really fucking good, and I know the reason why. It's very unique, different. It's very creative. There's no like you can go in there and I can if I die and start over from again, and it's kind of like those games you like, Brand, like the roguelites. It's similar to those. Like it's permadeath. I can go back and like, all right, this way I fucked up and died. I'll go the other way and do this other thing. You know, I walked by and I saw this library. The library's full of enemies, and like there's this thing up here is like the library is not a safe place. And then there's another one over here, like you've died here before. You know, you've died here before. And so it's like these conversations you're having with letters to yourself from the other times that you've kind of been stuck in these loops.
Is it kind of like that Splinter Cell where it gave you like mission tips and just kind of put it in the?
It's like writing on the walls. Like it gives you like these little tips that they throw up in there. Yeah. So like
that's cool.
Take the gun, take the bullets. You know, it tells you what to do. Kind of like it points you how to go in there. But it's like when you go in there's so many different ways to go do different things. So you don't have to. It's not like a regular first-person shooter. Like go down linear this way. You can go look at different paths and then I can go in there and start shooting everybody if I wanted to, and I can survive and go through it. And there's one where like that when I was playing on that one, literally there's like 20 people down that thing. I was never going to survive. They gunned me down. I think I took down 5 of them before they got me down.
Never going to survive.
So I was like, and then there's stealth kills in there. There's different ways. The weapons are pretty unique. You can level up weapons with weapon tokens to do different take off shock and add additional bullets. And
how do you earn the tokens?
You find them just lying about. They're glowing, and it looks like
a pre-order bonus.
It looks like a broken pixelations. It looks like something that's not supposed to be there. Like you'll see them in there, like it's not. It's
like a glitch.
Like a glitch in the system type thing. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. You're trying to figure out why you're in this loop and why you're trying to destroy it, and why Juliana, and the other one's trying to protect the loop. And like everybody on that island, all those people you had all those 8 major villains on that island, all want to protect the loop. Like you see signs on there, protect the loop, and you don't know why they're trying to protect the loop for. And that's what you're trying to go through, and you're trying to destroy it. So I was like, and you don't even know why you're trying to destroy it.
Destroy the loop.
Yeah. He doesn't even, I don't even know what the fuck a loop is. That's what he was saying every time he woke up. And it's like, you got to destroy the loop. He's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. And,
somebody help me.
No, man.
Somebody point me in the right direction.
It's good, man. It's fucking good. I don't know what it is, but it's really fucking good. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Haptic feedback wise, it's you can feel like the pitter patters of the feet as you run through. The feel of the guns is a lot of it does pretty well in the haptic feedback and the trigger effects. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of love poured in that as well. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it, man. It's really good.
Deathloop.
That's everything from me. I'll hand it off to Brand to finish off the show.
All right. Let's see. Quickly, I'm back on the horse. We played some Pokemon Unite.
Oh, there we go.
Sounds like a
which horse?
Sounds like a soccer
horse.
team every time you say Pokemon Unite.
Pokemon United.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, Brent has a bunch of horses. Which one? Which one are we back?
No,
Which one are we riding out of the stable?
I don't want to go too far into this down the rabbit hole, but I mean, Richard, what state would have Pokemon United as their soccer team? Would it be like South Dakota? It had to be some random ass state. Like doesn't have like a big city.
I mean, yeah, but do you pick one that? Because
Wyoming.
Pokemon recently has been getting people together, right? So you want the most people. Hawaii. I think Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I think Pokemon Unite is a official game of Hawaii.
How the fuck does that even happen? How did they fly out to do games? That's so impossible, man. At that point, they might as well just have an office in LA and just play in the States. We're technically Hawaii. I mean, when's the last time we watched a Hawaii college football game?
Georgia Hawaii Sugar Bowl 2010, 11.
A pro game, right? I think they played a pro game in Hawaii. That was like the last time I seen maybe a live.
They danced the haka. You seen that shit? The haka's legit.
Yeah, there's a reason why
intimidating.
there's a reason why their players go to Alabama. So.
Okay, Brent. Back to your actual factual.
Yeah.
Not the fake soccer Pokemon United team.
Yeah, we're getting back on there because they've added some more little like weekly challenges things, and the mobile release of the game I guess comes out next week. And with that,
I thought it was a ways off still. I thought the Switch one was like way ahead.
No, I believe it is next week that it'll come to mobile.
Okay, Brant. So between now and, of course, there's no NOFODcast next week, but you better get your victories in now, because when those mobile people step in,
oh my gosh,
it's gonna be ball game.
I finished the Iki Island expansion, at least the story.
Oh.
Like I said last week.
Did that pay off in the end?
Yeah, that story is really, really good. That's a good little expansion. It's not super long, but it.
And this, of course, goes to Tsushima.
Yeah, this does cap off the storyline pretty well. And like I said last week, play the complete first bit of the entire game before you do the Iki Island expansion, because there are some things that you can't get. Like just little optional things unless you've done the full story, and there's some other little story bits in there that it's imperative to finish the full game of Ghost of Tsushima before you do the expansion.
How is that gated? Is there an item progression thing, or is there like there's no way you can go back to it type?
No. Once you've once you open the first section in Ghost of Tsushima, because they break up Tsushima into 3 different like parts of the island, and once you unlock that first little area and get to the second area, you can immediately go to Iki Island.
Gotcha.
Once you start that story expansion, you're on that island.
You're fine. Yeah.
Until you get to basically the end of the story.
Does your progression carry over to the main game if you haven't completed it?
Yeah. Yeah. All your power-ups, all the things you unlock, because they add different mechanics with the horse. They add
horse mechanic.
They make
next gen horse mechanics.
They actually add to your horse to where you can use the horse to charge enemies and basically bowl them over and do massive damage with the horse. They add like fire arrows, and so there's some different cool things in there. But yeah, you're stuck on that island, and then once you finish the story part, you can freely jump back and forth and fast travel to the islands. So
then it just becomes like a normal part of the game, just
Yeah.
a normal, province or whatever.
but there's special armors and things. I don't necessarily want to spoil it if somebody hasn't played, or
Okay.
but there's these because normally you just walk up to these special little like pillars, and you might pick up a sword that has a special style to it or something, but there's
Right.
there's these places on Iki where there's 4 separate little not even shrines, they're just like little monuments. And if you read a special little like cryptic message about the place, and that gives you a hint on what to do. So you may have to use a smoke bomb and be wearing a certain outfit or something like that. But then you unlock a special armor based on a few different PlayStation properties, and they're pretty dang cool from what I've seen. And I think they were actually available in the online part of Ghost of Tsushima as well. Let's see. Other than that, I picked up WarioWare for Switch, and I sat down, and between me and my son, we beat it within, I don't know, like 2 hours, something like that. It's a relatively short game. WarioWare is this one. There's like some new game that's out, and Wario's making his own game. He finishes it, and then it glitches and pulls him and all of his friends in, and subsequently his game is glitched. There's like some game bug in it, so you've got to go through, defeat the game bugs by doing the classic micro games in the
That they're known for.
that the Wario games are known for, in order to get your friends back and clear the game of any bugs. And I mean, you can do, it starts off, I think, from like the first set, you have to do like 10 games, and then eventually it gets to like a total of 15 games. And then there's usually like a boss thing that you have to do. The most fun I had is there's a special little area that's themed with specific Nintendo mini games,
Oh.
and that was actually pretty cool.
What franchises do they call back?
All sorts of stuff. So there's one that's
Star Tropics?
no, at least not that I've seen. I think there's 2 or 3 mini games or micro games I haven't seen yet. But like there's one where it'll have Samus standing up on a small little like breakable platform, and there's 2 doors to either side. And so you've got to break the platform underneath her to where she goes into Morph Ball, and then like push her towards a door.
Samus is a her. What year is this?
There's another micro game where it's grab the game, and it also you have a GameCube that's open, and you'll have these circles come across the screen, and it might be a donut and something else like small little weird like paper circle. You've got to go up and grab the GameCube game and put it in the GameCube, and then it shows the TV, and the GameCube
awesome.
startup goes.
Is that a CRT?
And, yes. It's fun, but
How about some GameCube?
honestly, for $50, I don't know. I mean, you might want to get this game once it goes cheap, because like I said,
Right.
it took us like 2 hours to beat this game. It was very quick. Yeah, it's a good game, and it's fun, and then you can play against people and
Micro
go
games after that.
go head to head and play all the micro games. But Yeah, honestly, for the single player experience, you can go through it extremely quick.
Does the story unlock all of the micro games, or is there still an aspect after you beat the story where you still have to unlock stuff?
The thing is, yeah, you can go back and play those areas to unlock, because you're only going to see a handful of the micro games.
Okay.
There's still more that you can unlock by going back and replaying them, and then even once you go through and replay them and get to the boss, like you did the first time, then it'll go bonus, and you can keep playing and get more stages and unlock more of the currency, and the currency is basically used to
Is it Wario bucks?
like power up the characters and get art for the gallery, or if you wind up failing during the some of the micro games, because when you go through, you only have like maybe 4 chances to fail in most of the games. So if you fail more than 4 times, then it's game over. You get the chance to continue, but it costs like
Game
100.
over, yeah.
It costs only like 100 bucks, and you get like I think 1,000 or more, depending on which level you're on progressing through.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty easy.
Yeah, this is not the Dark Souls 4 games.
No, but it's fun. We had a lot of fun playing it. And then other than that, before we started on the podcast, I think I just got tired of seeing all of the ads for it, and I started up Genshin Impact.
Oh,
because I'm just bombarded constantly
I keep seeing
with
this
ads.
everywhere myself. Yeah, you succumb to the internet and peer pressure.
I mean, from the start, I don't really know too much about what I'm doing, but I know Cesar talked a little bit about it before when it came out, and it is just like Breath of the Wild aesthetics. The combat's a little different, a little bit. It's got its own spin to it. But it's definitely a nice looking game, and it has that aesthetic like Breath of the Wild. I'm playing on PS5, and I still notice, like, as I'm walking, like certain things will like pop, just kind of like jittery pop, like a rock or a tree just kind of like shift and pop into place. So but I'm guessing it
Let's
is
render
what it
this
is.
now.
But I'm not super far into it. Gosh, I only played like 25-30 minutes before the podcast, but it's not bad. I mean, I don't know if I'll get engrossed into it, but
Yeah.
I might play it for a little while and see how I like it.
Just fuck around and might beat it.
I'm gonna check out this Hollow Knight game and see if I like it.
But that's
Brad
it.
fucked around and beat Hollow Knight.
Hey, Hollow Knight's a good ass game. I only got one ending though. There's several endings. But
Watch them on YouTube.
yeah,
You beat it. You beat the
I'll
game.
watch the other ones.
Yeah. What's the update on the Silk Song? When is that next one coming out?
A word. Whenever
Alright,
it comes.
That's it. Yeah.
Every,
How far away that is.
Every Nintendo Direct, it's always Word Silk Song.
Yeah. Did anybody check out Axiom Verge 2 on that note?
Not
Anybody
yet.
check that one out yet?
You see all these
I
games
haven't
come
played
out
the
this
first
month?
one.
Hell no.
Yeah. I'm playing Halo and Toe Jam and Roll. And Mickey Mouse World of Illusion featuring Donald Duck. As we had to figure out how to get the second player in there. This is my world. They played the shit out of some Just Dance too, also, so. And Just Dance 2014 specifically, but talk about that later. Is that everything we want to add to this episode?
That's it.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with us this week. Sorry about the technical difficulties. On that note, this is the last episode ever. I hate that you have to hear it this way. And my coworkers they have no clue that this was happening. I'm just
No,
teasing.
we're all
Taking a
officially
week off.
We're all officially graduating.
That's it. We're graduating. You can find us on another platform with a higher pay tier. Possibly. No, we're just taking a week off next week. It's kind of a fall break for 3/3 of us. So we're going to.
That's all of us.
take-
Yeah.
So we're going
That's
to take the
one
week
goal.
off. Enjoy this episode. I probably should have put it at the beginning of this episode, like, hey, savor this one. It's gonna have to last you 14 days. But,
We gave them extra 20 minutes, so
that's true. I'll put that at the end of this episode. So if you're really like, oh God, I don't know what I'm gonna do without no podcast for another week, there will be a 13, 14 minute-ish
Oh gosh.
outro after the.
we can always volunteer Brant to stream at the same time next week and just host a Q&A.
Better
AMA.
yet, a monologue.
Yeah.
Just go.
Ask
Just
me
hit
anything. He can
record
be
and just
AMA.
go.
It's just him
AMA.
looking.
No feedback, no questions, no nothing, no prompts. Just Brant come from the heart for an
That-
hour and 48 minutes.
that
You know
or
what
just
you
a-
have to fill.
That or have the camera pointed at you for an hour, 48 minutes, just with heavy breathing and playing
stare.
Genshin Impact.
That might get us more followers. Brant, go with this.
ASMR. And Genshin Impact.
Give us a preview of that. What would you do?
I don't know. Just
You said I love you at the end of the last episode, so our audience is already baited for your next.
There we go.
oh. No, I'm not gonna blow. I'm not gonna blow the air into there.
God,
Yeah, I
go
mean, Richard's
All right,
ready.
go
He's
ahead,
got the
Brant.
headphones in, so
You're good.
he's ready for
Whatever you
the
wanna do.
he's ready for the ASMR. So
Audio listeners, he had compressed air. He was threatening podcast suicide there on the microphone. He
it
was
sounds like you're about to say
take us all
threatening
out.
legal action or something like that. Threatening legal action.
We will not have any live content next week, but you may check on any of our other previous 175 episodes. I don't think, outside of news, I don't think there's anything that's really outdated. A big portion of our content is games we've been playing, and historically across episode 1 through this one, it's been random stuff and old school, and you may want to hear the news from back then and see how things have developed since then. So you
Yep.
never know. Go back and play an old episode or two, and let your friends know, and let them play, 170 episodes.
Binge.
Anything helps. We're not paid to do this, so anything you want to mention to your friends, we would greatly appreciate. But if that's it, I look forward to a 1 week hiatus, 2 week
Yep.
hiatus. It's
1
14 days till we record again, but.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you in 2 weeks.
See you.
Goodbye.